Nikki, I'm glad you're on tonight.
Me too, friend. Me too. Thank you.
I have your stuff. I need to get it back to you. Thank you for letting me borrow it.
I know I'm excited about Christmas. I loved all that stuff. So
Me too.
I get it back, but you can't have it, but
It's all right. You can have it back.
Well, welcome everyone. We are having so much fun connecting, sharing all the things that have been going on in our day today. And so real life going on here, friends. But we're excited to be here tonight. And our topic tonight will be goal setting. And it's a great time of the year to stop and reevaluate, and also maybe make some new goals or stretch those goals just a little bit more. And so I'm excited for Courtney to share with us what she has for us tonight. And we will just get right on it. So thanks so much, Courtney.
Awesome. Yes. So I'm a goals girl. I love setting goals and I love hitting those goals and I love passing those goals. So we're going to talk about goals tonight. And I have 3 types of goals for you guys to consider. Okay. So we have talked about how to set goals. We've talked about how to hit those goals and all of the ins and outs of those. But as we're talking about goals this month and next month, I want you guys to think bigger than just basic goals. Okay. So you always need to have goals surrounding how many bookings you want to have each month, how much in sales you'd like to have, your potential recruits and growth, and so on and so forth. Those are your very basic bottom of the line goals. Okay. But expanding them, thinking bigger than those basics, is stepping outside your comfort zone. And so I have 3 types of goals to talk about tonight. So the first type of goal is your consistency goal. Okay. So this is what's going to keep you in your business every single month. These are your consistency goals. And the consistency goals are around bookings, sales, and recruits. So the 3 main pieces of your business. And if you're a leader and you're doing those 3, then that consistency in your title pay is going to stay. And if you're doing those 3, you're going to see a little bit of growth. Okay. So those are your consistency goals. The other consistency goals are things like working each day. It doesn't have to be for hours. We don't need to work our business 8 hours a day to get out of it what people need to do in an office, or when they leave their home and they go to their job and work 40 hours a week. We don't need to do that. We know that our income producing activities give us results that are almost exponential. Okay. So just being in your business, sitting down and working for 15 minutes, that Belinda Ellsworth power hour, gold. Tweaking that to fit your schedule, consistently sitting down and working Monday through Friday is another great consistency goal. Okay. So that's your first type of goal, is just consistency goal. And that's just you looking at your day to day, your week to week in each month and just going, okay, knowing what I have going on with personal and family and so on and so forth, where can I sit down each day and get some kind of work done? All right. The next goal is your consistency plus 1. All right. And we've talked about this specifically in those booking chats. So the consistency plus 1 is taking what you're consistent at. So if you are consistent at 4 bookings every single month, guess what your consistency plus 1 is? 5. Once you get really comfortable with 5, then your consistency plus 1 grows. And we talked about this in August, and I challenged you guys to look at August, your bookings, and add 1 for September. And then look at September. And as long as you didn't feel like a chicken with your head cut off, because I don't want to overwhelm, take September and add 1 for this month. And I'm still going to challenge you for October to take what you've done for October booking wise, add 1 for November. And then depending on what you want to do in December, you can either add 1 more if you want to do that, or you can take whatever you did in November and use that as your opportunity to kind of cut it in half if you're just wanting to work half of the month. It's up to you, because December is what you want it to be for you and your family. It's what's realistic. A lot of people end up taking off. We know that with direct sales, people kind of stop buying after a certain point because they're not thinking about themselves. They run out of money for themselves. They've gotten all their presents. but they'll be back after Christmas when that cash is burning a hole in their pocket, right? And so we want to capitalize on that opportunity of being there. So you can work December however you want. And the right way to work December is whatever works for you. So that consistency plus one for bookings is taking what you're comfortable with once you work it for a couple months and adding one. Same thing with recruits, taking whatever it is that you did the previous month and adding one. So if you did 0 in September, then October is 1. If you got 1 in October, then 2 is your goal for November. Okay. Now, here's the other thing with both of these categories. You also want to make sure that you can still maintain yourself as a good leader. So if you get to where you're going, oh, well, last month I added 4 girls, this month I need to add 5. If you look at the previous month and if you can effectively say, I was an amazing leader and I was able to coach all of them equally and really, really well, then great, go for it. But if you feel a little chaotic, and if your girls feel a little chaotic and you feel like you haven't done a great job, then just take a breath and do what you need to do to get back to where you feel really good and comfortable and confident in that part of your business. Okay. So, and you're going to get to a point where you feel chaotic with whatever, with a certain level of booking, sales, and recruit. And that's kind of your sign to go, this is too much. It's time to scale it back. We've all figured out that point in our business at some point. Okay. The other thing is consistency plus one more weekly paycheck. So if you're looking at your calendar and you go, I have nothing for such and such week, I'm going to figure out something and I'm going to add one more weekly paycheck to my calendar. Okay. That's your sales essentially, but it just sounds more fun if you just add another paycheck, right? Because we can do that. So consistency plus one, bookings, recruits, and one more paycheck. Okay. Adding that one more paycheck to your schedule is a great recruiting seed in your VIP group. Okay. Because you can control that. That's really cool to a lot of people that you can control that you can add that. All right. People in 9-to-5s can't do that. They have set paydays and it is what it is. All right. But we can go, I am not going to get paid on that week because I've got nothing the previous week, but I really want to get paid on that week because we want to go do this and this. So I'm going to work that previous week and I'm going to figure out something to do. And you can go and pull from the different types of bookings in that particular booking video, or you can think of something outside the box, or you can find you a hostess or whatever the case may be. Okay. We have that opportunity to do that, which is really neat. All right. Consistency plus conference is your third type of goal. And this comes straight from our recognition program. Okay. So if you go to your back office, you log in, you click on the resources tab, then you go down to the incentives box. I believe it's on the bottom left-hand side. Okay. This is there. This is there. You can download this and print this off. All right. And this is your consistency plus conference. Right. So you can look at what you're doing. And if you feel like, I don't know that I can take on anymore, great. Do what you're doing, go to the recognition brochure and see where that fits in to conference recognition. Okay. If you feel like I can do more, I want to do more, I need to do more, look at what you're doing and push yourself to that next level. Okay. For conference. Now, conference recognition, you've got all different types of things here. You've got personal achievement looks at personal sponsoring and personal sales. There are different levels. For group achievement, you've got group sponsoring, group sales, leadership development. Okay. So you've got lots and lots of really great options that are going to help grow your business for your consistency plus conference. All right. And you don't need to push for the very top level if you're not real sure how that looks. Like with goals, you always want to make them realistic. You always want to make it so that it's still fun for you. It's still fun for you. it still encourages you, it still pushes you. And if you don't meet a goal 1 month, you don't want it to discourage you. You want what you don't hit to fuel you to hit it for the next month. So use that initial disappointment in not hitting your goal to then push yourself for the next month. Okay. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I will get it back and I will circle back. So don't laugh at me, Lisa. So it's like my least favorite phrase, and yet I use it all the time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's probably because I'm really snarky. Okay, so you've got 3 different categories for goals to look at. Consistency, what are you doing really well? All right, what are you doing really well that's consistent? What are you not doing really well that needs to be something that you do really well for consistent? And this is kind of your homework for this next week. So I'm going to go through these 3 different goals. This one call is not going to be as long as they normally are, simply because you guys are going to have a decent amount of homework for this week from this call and to prepare for next week, because I'm about to no, I'm not kidding. I'm not going to overload y'all. I'm about to blow y'all up with some great organization skills, because that is my happy place. So for this week, for your homework consistency, I want y'all to look at what you're doing well and what you're not doing well consistently. Like, be real honest. And if you need to ask somebody for help, like, ask somebody for help. If you've got accountability partners in your group, or you've got other consultants in your group, and you just need somebody that's going to give you an honest opinion. If you want an honest opinion, you're welcome to add me. I'll be happy to tell you what it's like. Okay. And then you also need to look at that consistency +1 and be realistic with yourself. Because if you put too much on your plate, you're not going to hit those goals. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're just going to kind of shut down. Everybody's business and month looks completely different. Every single person's. And that is really cool. Like, really cool. We need to sit in that. We need to own that. We need to be excited about that. We need to be really happy that that is the case with our business. Like, my cubicle, if you want to call it that, my cubicle does not look like any of y'all's. What functions in here does not look like y'all's. And that's great. Okay. So consistency +1 needs to be +1 for you, +1 booking, +1 recruit, +1 more paycheck. You can say +1 more party, or I guess I said that with booking. So it's really what you need it to look like in your business. Okay. Consistency plus conference is taking this recognition brochure and really looking at it and going, what is realistic for me to get celebrated for? What do I want to be celebrated for? If I don't think I can do it this year, what is something that I can start implementing steps so that come June 1st of 2022, I can hit the ground running for this next year? I will say this, it's not too late to start pushing for conference recognition for this year. But if it's also something that really overwhelms you to kind of take on right now, it's okay. Like, you can start implementing all of these weekly calls. You can start implementing tips and tricks from each of them into your business over the next 7 months, so that when the time comes, if there's just something in here that just really makes your heart sing to be recognized for, and for you to be able to say, I did that, like, I worked really hard for that and I did that, then start taking that big picture, that big goal of conference recognition, and then breaking down whatever it is that you want to attain. Okay, so you're breaking down, you're taking the big rocks, so to speak, and you're breaking them into smaller chunks. All right, so your homework is to be really realistic with yourself. What are you doing well? What are you not doing well? Where are you going to add +1? What is your conference recognition group, or what specific category are you wanting to work towards for conference for this year or next year? Okay. So once you have those, you can message Lisa. If we're friends on Facebook and you want to message me, I would love, love, love to hear those things and to help you with them. Genuinely would. Okay. Now, before I go and answer any and all questions about these 3 types of goals, I do want to tell you guys what I need y'all to do for next week. So next week is organization, and this will be our first organization dedicated chat. Okay. So This is totally my happy place. I'm going to do my best to not overwhelm and like spin my head around and explode in excitement. Nikki can tell you how much this makes me happy. And so there are a couple things that you guys need to actually come to the call with. Okay. So you just need to go on Google and print off 2 empty monthly calendars. No dates, no days of the week listed on them, no month, just empty monthly calendars. Okay. So print off 2 because we're going to work through one together. And I promise you at the end of the call, you're going to go, I don't really like the way that looks. I'm going to redo it. And then you'll have a second one and you could redo it and make it pretty and do whatever you need to. Okay. The next thing is when you look at your planner or your day-to-day, whatever kind of planner you have, okay, the only wrong planner is the one you don't use and the one that is not working for you. Okay. I don't care what kind of planner you use. There's a reason there's 30 million different options because there's 7 billion different people on this planet. Everybody uses a different type of option. I don't care what you use, but I do want you to look at it, the one that you use, and I want you to figure out what your categories are. Like, and you know what I mean? Family, to-dos, errands, work, extracurriculars, you know, caretaker, whatever your categories are. Make a list and write them down. I don't care how many you have. If you need to get really specific with your categories, get really specific for you, okay? And then I want you to write down your list of non-negotiables. You can bring all this to next week, okay? I'm telling you, next week is about to be legit and it's gonna be fun, okay? You're gonna write down your non-negotiables. What are the things that you are not willing to give up? I will tell you right now, like we do not sacrifice family night. We just don't. Like it is a non-negotiable. We do not sacrifice it. We try really hard to make sure also that Saturdays are for adventures and fun and going and doing and getting out. And like those are my non-negotiables. Church, obviously, non-negotiable. Homeschool, obviously, non-negotiable. Okay. Those are them. What are yours? We all have them. I'm not going to ask you to share them. It doesn't matter to me. But I am going to help you plug them in. And I am going to help you organize all of the things so that it flows and that it makes sense and that it's helpful and productive for you. All right. Now, if you're a visual person and you like things very pretty and colorful, you can bring pens for each of your categories. Doesn't matter to me. Sometimes people just want to write everything in one color, and that's fine. I am very visual and my brain needs that different color so that when I look at my planner, I go, oh, pink, work. Oh, green, family. Oh, purple, church. Like okay, I can name off all my colors right now. My brain needs that. So it's up to you if your brain needs it or not. Don't care. I'm not going to ask you what they are, but you can have them ready so that we can get to work. Okay. So you guys have a decent amount of homework. So I wanted to make this call short and sweet and to the point so that you had time to work on your stuff for this week. These goals are super, super important and they're really helpful. And if you implement them and you do them, and you work on them, like in the previous goals chat, we talked about when to sit down and work on your goals for the next month and in the quarter and so on and so forth. You could do them quarterly, you could do them every 6 months when we get a new catalog. But there's more surrounding goals than just these 3 types of goals. And we did that in the previous chat and we will do more in the next one. So I want you to be really thoughtful in what you look at with your consistency, your +1 and conference. Okay, so that's all I have for tonight. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, that's really funny, Cheyenne. I just read your comment. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense. I am just being really snarky with it. But yeah.
Awesome. I think you were pretty clear on some really good things. I think it's a lot for us to go and think about. So I think this is really good. Anyone else have questions for Courtney? Or any comments?
I know it might seem really easy, and I know I didn't keep y'all on here for very long, and that's for a purpose. Like, there's not a whole lot that I need to say and do surrounding these 3 categories, but I am challenging you to go and do them. And that's where you're going to get the value from this. And if you have questions later on in the week as you work on it, like, message me. Happy to chat with you and help you. But be really realistic too.
That's good.
And also give yourself some grace, you know.
Yes. Awesome. I am going to stop this training off Facebook so that it can stay short and you guys can listen to this and get this going. So thank you for joining us tonight.